Hi, everyone. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear my voice well. Great. Thank you, Abla. Thank you, Rania. So thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be doing an hour webinar on how to cleanse your aura, how to cleanse the space around you. We're going to learn some tools, and we're going to have an experimental session in the end as well, or throughout the process. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Maria Leonard. I'm one of the facilitators at Illuminations, and I'm the founder of Lightscripting, which is a holistic healing and manifestation modality. And the technique of clearing today is going to be based on that modality. I'll be teaching a space clearing course on the 21st of May, and some of the information that we're using today is from that course. So you'll get a first-hand experience of what that is like. Everything is going to be practical. So if you have a pen and paper, you can take some notes as well. And feel free to ask questions in the chat box. If you're on Zoom with me, I'll be able to see that and reply throughout the process. All right? So let me make myself comfortable. Let's talk about the aura first. There are so many explanations of what the aura looks like. The most common explanation is that you have 7 layers of the aura, and each of those layers are connected to one of the chakras. I would have to simplify this process for you and just see it as a complete whole. And I'm going to focus on the 3 layers mainly for today. One is the etheric layer, which is the closest to the physical body. So we call it the etheric layer. That is very much fused, I would say, very much close and connected to the body, like probably it could be a centimeter away. And usually that's the point when you do an acupuncture or an acupressure or a crystal healing, that's the body that you are easily touching the most. Or when you're doing a massage, right? So an acupuncture or an acupressure, the hands-on movement or the pressures in different parts of the body is actually touching those etheric points. And from those etheric points, you are also being connected to the chakras. But the chakras are much deeper than that, which I mentioned earlier. You have the layers connected to it. The etheric body is easily cleansed through showering using water and salt. You can easily clean that on a daily basis because, as I said, it's very close to your physical body. The issue is that because people are unconscious of when they are bathing or when they're having a shower, they're just thinking of their physical body to do the cleansing. But the water element has so many amazing qualities. It's helping you to cleanse and flush out all those toxins, energetic toxins that you have, other than the physical heavy metals or the toxins that your body has absorbed, which is very much on your skin, right? It's on your biggest organ. So first tip of the day, very simple, very straightforward. When you are showering, be conscious with it. So you're not only cleaning your body, but you're cleansing your etheric body. And using salt at the end of your bathing or at the end of your shower, by starting from the top of the head, the crown, and rubbing it all the way down to the bottom of the feet, we'll be able to crack. And there is a word that we use in the energy world called to disintegrate. That means it's cutting through all those knots and all those blocks that has created in your energy body. Okay, very simple, very cheap. Some people ask me if Epsom salt is okay. I would say Epsom salt is a form of magnesium. So it's not necessarily there to cleanse, it's there to relax. You know, it does help with, you know, for example, some people put a bucket of water and they put Epsom salt and they put their feet in. So that is great because it releases all the tension and clears the energy from the feet. That's another option you can do. However, it's not necessarily energetic cleansing that's taking place. So you have two salts that you can use, sea salt or Himalayan salt. You get a handful of it and you make sure that you rub it every part of the body. All right, I think we're already done with the first process with that. That would help you to do it daily. It's kind of like when you're doing your daily meditation, you are letting yourself to remove and release the things that you have absorbed from other people. We are in this ocean of energy, if you want to call it, and we're continuously like a sponge absorbing from one another. There's this misconception from some people that it's only when you actually physically see someone that you're absorbing, but it's not true because energy has no physical boundaries. So, for example, if you are on your phone, if you're watching TV, if you're on the screen right now and watching me, we are exchanging energy. And your aura is getting affected by me. My aura is getting affected by you. That is why we're going to learn how to do protection as well. Because when you continuously keep on exchanging energy and you no longer know what is yours and what is no longer yours, you start to have lack of clarity. So those of you who are struggling with clarity, struggling with focus, struggling with having a very strong willpower, then your energy has been so fogged up by other people's interaction and you haven't properly cleansed yourself for probably a long time. And this has allowed you to not be able to see clearly. It's like if you haven't washed the windows of your car and you won't be able to see in front of you or at the back properly, right? So we need to make sure that we are allowing ourselves to be cleansed. And like we mentioned, the first technique to help with the etheric body is water and sea salt. Now, let me talk about the two other layers that come after the etheric body. So as I said, we have the physical, we have the etheric, which is very close. Then you have the emotional body. Then you have the mental body. The emotional body is basically the space where it's holding all those stuck emotions. I always say that it's not good or bad to have a certain emotion. It's about how long you're keeping it in you. It's natural for you to experience anger. It's natural for you to experience sadness. It's part of the human experience. However, when you hold on to the anger for a very long time, you are mentally holding on to the scenario. So you probably have a thought by saying, people are not respecting me, people don't love me, people don't want me, this person doesn't like me, this person is a threat. Whatever your thought is, that is in your mental body. It's stuck there. Like you can imagine them like balloons. Okay, I call them energy entities. And they get stuck in the mental body. The emotion from those thoughts are in your emotional body. And like anger, resentment, sadness, fear, they're just around you. Now, we need to remember that the physical body, again, it's as much as we can see that there are layers, but they're all very interwoven and interlinked together. So that means just because the anger energy is around my emotional body doesn't mean it's not going to affect my organs. Or it's not going to affect a certain part of my body because it's going to impact the energy center of it, which means the chakras. And then from the chakras, it's going to impact the cells, which is going to impact the tissue and the organ of the body. So our intention for today is to clean your etheric, your emotional, and your mental bodies, which we're going to have a mini meditation in the end where we're going to be cleansing that. Okay. Now, some tips and tools of what you can do with it. Let's start with some of the very ancient traditions and the ancient techniques of, this is a very black Palo Santo, okay? It's usually supposed to be brown, but it's kind of burnt. So you can use whatever herb that you are very close to, that you feel related to. Just because sage and Palo Santo is a trend now, it doesn't mean that's the only one that you can use. You could use frankincense, you could use sandalwood, you can use cedar wood. I basically bounce between the three: Palo Santo, sage, and frankincense. And just for today, I have Palo Santo one. Okay. I have a question from Sophia saying, do you mix the salt with body wash or apply salt directly to the body? You can do both, whatever suits you best. Just make sure that it's a good amount of salt, not just a tiny bit, okay? You're not flavoring yourself. I personally, what I do is I pour it in a bottle, like in a liter water bottle, and I pour in a handful of sea salt, and then I just toss it over. That's what I personally like to do, okay? You can always make your own style. Some people use it, like you said, they mix it with their body wash. That can also be a good idea, but you just have to be conscious that it's a good amount that you're using. It would really help you a lot. I've had days where after giving many sessions, I felt quite drained and I've had a headache from it because I've absorbed a bit too much. Remember, we're sponges, so I can't wait to arrive home and just to have a shower. And by consciously showering, being grateful to the water and saying thank you to the water and allowing it to flow, I don't need anything afterwards. I just finish it. I have a glass of water. Again, have your relationship with water to be conscious. Make it more like, rather than saying, oh, it's easy, I have it anyway, but just be aware of it. I personally wash my hair, and I know it's not healthy, and I know that hairstylists wouldn't recommend that, but you have to understand that my job is to work with people on a daily basis. So if you're not having a headache, then you can just skip the hair for a day. If you're not feeling congested, then you can skip the head. Okay, all right. So as you can see, the smoke of Palo Santo, one of the best ways to use it is, I'll answer your question in a minute, Erica. One of the best ways to use Palo Santo is you can stand up, or if you're sitting like me, you start from the left side of the body, okay? You can look at your left foot and you start going in a circular motion, and you reach down, and you do this for 7 rounds. So if you're standing up, you're going 1, 2, or if you're sitting down like what I'm doing, 3, 4, 7 is considered an ancient spiritual number, so that's why we're using 7. So this is one way of cleansing the energy field around you. I'm going to use the word energy field, I mean aura, just so that you know the difference. Okay, if you're using sage or Palo Santo or frankincense, whatever it is, it's the same technique. Just make sure that you start from the left foot, the left side of the body, and you are cleansing it. So if you're standing, obviously you have to bend a bit, right? And you have to make that circular movement. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to see what Erica has to say. Yeah, well, you can dissolve the question is, when you say you pour it over you, do you mean the salt is dissolved in the water or it is dry salt? Both. If I'm using it in a bottle, obviously it's dissolved. If I don't have time to use that, I'm having a handful and I'm rubbing all my body. Palo Santo, P-A-L-O-C-E-N-T-O, not Pali. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Nadine. So one way of using it around your body. Another way is to do with the meridians. So you would start from your crown, as you can see, and you go one straight line to the bottom. And then this is 1. And then you go 4 on this side. 2, 3, 4. That was my 1. You can do 1 more additional, and it can be 5. So it can be either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it can be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just basically how many layers you're going. You can also do 7 because you're going to the 7 layers with that intention. Okay? So you can, it depends on how many layers you want to clean. So let's say today I'm going to do 1, always going from the left side, and then I go 2, 3, 4 is almost out of my body, as you can see. Oh, it's quite out. And then 5, if I want to go again, it's 6 and 7. It's about being in tune when you're doing this. It's not because Maria said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always advise people to do it with their eyes closed when they're doing only aura cleansing, just so that they can be a bit in tune with what's happening with the energy. And after a while, you get used to it. You can feel it. Okay? People take it very lightly. Everybody I know buys sage and buys Palo Santo, and they go around doing stuff, you know, cleansing. But they're not in that state. This is a meditative practice. So it's important that you are feeling, understanding, and connecting with the energy of what you're doing. So when I finish one side of my body, I go to the other one. Again, remember, from the top, doing straight lines. If you can do this in the morning before you leave the house, and then let's say after you shower and you come back and you do it again, well, what you've done is you've done 2 different elements of cleansing, which is water with your shower, and then you've done air, because this is the element of air. The smoke is the air. So feel free to choose whichever technique you can, but it needs to be a part of your daily practice. If you're someone who's working in a very busy environment, or you have been out gathering with other people, etc., then you do need to make sure that you do this before you fall asleep. If you are someone who has children or who has pets, you need to double this workup even more, because they are even stronger sponges to absorb all the unnecessary and unhealthy energy that you carry. Especially animals, they have the tendency, they have the ability to just absorb. Cats have a better ability to discharge the energy out of them. Dogs don't. And that is why if you speak to an animal communicator or an animal energy healer, you would most of the time find out that what the animal is going through is partially or completely of what the human is going through, because they imitate of what's going on. So if you have continuous anger in you, then the animal is there to help you to absorb, taking that anger away from you, and they can end up falling ill, or they have different physical ailments from it. And unfortunately, many people have the tendency to just try to fix that with medication, but it's not the physical layer that is the issue. It's the other layers need to be cleared. And one thing we need to understand, that as important as and as valuable medicine is, it only touches the medicine of the medicine only touches the physical part of the body, and the energy bodies do not get cleaned or cleansed eventually. And that is why a chronic issue can get created after a while. So having to remember that using water as your daily practice, drinking it and bathing is important, and using sage or Palo Santo or frankincense or sandalwood or cedarwood, whatever you feel connected to. The smells, the incense sticks that are available, many of them hold chemicals in them. So that's not really the one that would be recommended to just use it. to cleanse your aura. Okay, so be mindful of that as well. Another thing that you can do to cleanse the energy field around is crystals. I have here a black tourmaline crystal. It's my most favorite crystal. Why is it my most favorite? Because it's perfectly programmed from Mother Earth to absorb unhealthy energy. It has that ability. It's very difficult for a black tourmaline to break and chip, by the way. Even its hardness, it's very different. Over here, I have selenite wand. And although selenite is another powerful crystal, it can easily chip. So it's a very sensitive crystal. I'm going to talk about each one of them and how to use them in a second. Another one that I have here is a black tourmaline pyramid, which is a powerful tool to use. So the black tourmaline crystal, this is like a rock form, as you can see, a cluster one. You can have one next to your bed, next to your desk. It will help to absorb any of the electromagnetic frequencies. It can help to absorb your unhealthy energies, and you don't have to daily clean it. That's the good news. You can clean it once every month during the full moon, because it's a powerful opportunity to do that using the power of the full moon, the energy of the full moon. And if you can see, if you're having a rough one, you don't even have to wash it. You just get a Palo Santo. Again, I just have Palo Santo here right now. And what you do to cleanse the crystal, just give me a second, is you rotate around it. You make sure you go around, and then you can also hold it at the bottom and let the smoke go up. So you end up cleansing it. Again, it's important to be in tune with it, not like, okay, I did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm done. And then you hold the crystal in your receptive hand. What is the receptive hand? If you are right-handed, that means you write with your right hand, then your left hand is your receptive. You take energy from there. So you can hold the crystal in your receptive hand, and you put the intention, say it out loud or you say it mentally, this crystal is to absorb all the dirty, unhealthy, dark energies from my aura. That's it. You can repeat it 3 times. And then you say thank you, and you keep it aside. People think that it's a bit crazy to speak to crystals, but you need to understand that crystals are minerals and they come from Earth. So they have consciousness, just like plants. And if anything has consciousness, whatever you say it, whatever you tell it, it will vibrate at that frequency. Anything that is conscious is vibrating at a certain frequency. So by commanding the energy towards the crystal for it to do something for you, you are navigating it for it to work for Maria, for whoever it is, and to make sure that it works only for that person. Another thing that I usually tell people is that don't use one particular crystal for many things. You end up distracting it, you end up making it confused. So it's a waste of unnecessary energy. If it's made for your body to clean the aura, use it for that. If you're going to use it for your space, to clean the space, which is what I also teach in space clearing, then you use it for the house. Okay, so always, what's the word? Dedicate and delegate your crystals for certain things. As you can see, I'm wearing crystal bracelets. Each one is for a purpose. It has its own meaning. It's not just randomly I've put crystals. So whatever you're buying and whatever you're wearing, please make sure that you're conscious of it, because it's going to be connected with your auric field. It's going to impact your auric field. Usually when someone's gifting you something, or you've inherited something from someone you love, especially if something has been worn before you, it's highly, highly recommended that you clean it first. As much as you love that person that you may have inherited something from, it's not advisable to have their energy attached to yours, because it will not always be comfortable to have that. It's kind of like having someone live with you in a room every single minute, every single day of your life. As much as you love the person, you'll get tired at some point. So, as we said, you can use the black tourmaline in this way. You can have it next to you, or you can meditate with it. You can sit with it for 5 to 10 minutes by holding it in your palm, and you can visualize and put the intention that the black tourmaline is absorbing all the layers of your energy or in your aura, all the dirty energies, and it's absorbing it inside. What the pyramid crystal can do, the pyramid crystal is a very symbolic way of using crystals. So the power is always at the peak, at the tip of it. So when you're holding it for a meditation, it's kind of like the energy is flowing upwards. And when you want to use it, again, you're holding it in your palm, so you could feel like you're balancing the energy from the bottom, but the energy is transmitting upwards. So if you're sitting like this, let's say, you're being completely energetically impacted by the crystal's energy that's emitting. The name of the crystal is black tourmaline. That's what we're using for today. Or again, as a decoration, which is not really a decoration, it's actually doing its purpose. You end up putting it next to you, or next to a certain, your bedside table or your desktop, or next to your TV as well. They will help you a lot from all the dirty energies that are around. Now, I'm going to talk about selenite, which is a very sensitive crystal, very, very sensitive one. It can easily chip, so you have to be careful. There are so many ways to choose rocks, but just for today, I'm talking about black tourmaline and selenite. That's what I'm only talking about. The selenite that you can use for, or a selenite wand, is a powerful tool to do what I did with the Palo Santo technique of cleaning the meridians. Just like having to use the smoke for it, you can hold the wand. Of course, you will clean it. I'm going to clean it first. Never let selenite touch water. It will turn into like, it will disintegrate, and it will turn into little pieces of salt. Well, which is not salt, it's the selenite pieces, basically. Just like I did with the other crystals, I can clean it, hold it at the bottom, letting the smoke to go upwards. You could feel the energy of the crystal depending on your level of sensitivity. And then you will hold it with your active hand, and you can start from the top, and you open one layer. You go to layer number 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm doing just 5 for now. And I'm going again 2, 3, 4, and I'm doing 5. All the crystals can be in their different forms. The selenite wand is a very famous tool that they use for cleaning energies. You could have different crystals that people use, like a labradorite wand or all the chakra wands, but the selenite wand is one of the most famous cleansing tools that you can use. To be honest, I have never seen a black tourmaline wand because I think that would be a bit too strong, but that's my prediction. So you could even buy the selenite as, usually you would buy it as small pieces, or you would buy it as a kind of like a ruler. This is how they would usually sell. You could buy the selenite as a tower or as a spiral. These are the famous selenite symbols that they use for it. After every cleanse that you use the wand, you need to clean it before and after. Because what selenite does, it magnifies. So if there is dirty energy, it's going to magnify it. If it's in itself, around it, not that it's magnified on you. So let's say if I cleanse myself and it took the energy in and I didn't clean it properly, later on when I'm going to use it, the selenite is not clean enough. One of the most interesting things that crystals do is when they've had enough and when they no longer need to be in your presence and they no longer need to help you, they break, they chip. And people get really sad. I get sad. A few of mine have been broken, but it's because their purpose has been done. And it's always a good idea to give them back to Mother Earth. Don't throw them in the bin. Make sure that you clean them. Never stick them or glue them together. That's not the point. Unless if you know someone who works with crystals, you could give it to them. They might do something with it, I don't know. But usually giving it back to Mother Earth through a soil, putting it in a soil, it would help because that's where they actually belong, you know. It's like a gift from Mother Earth to us. And when I was much younger, I used to be crazy about buying crystals. I'm an earth sign, so I'm very attracted to these things. But over the years, I realized that it's just excessive way of me purchasing stuff. Instead of like me buying excessive clothes, I'm buying excessive crystals. And crystals, they need to be taken care of. Because just leaving them around in the house just because they're great or beautiful or they're going to bring positive energy is not really enough unless you have the discipline to take care of them. So it's better to have a few that you know what the purpose of each one is, and you just end up using it rather than, oh, I like this and I like this, and I end up using all of that. So since we're talking about cleansing today, we're not talking about other crystals. Rose quartz is not a cleansing crystal. We're talking about only black tourmaline and selenite to help you cleanse the auras. Okay? All right. Now that was the earth element that we used. We're going to move towards using the fire element. And then we have one more, and then we're going to do the meditation. So the fire element is having candles around, and you could do a few ways of cleansing the aura. You could sit in the center and you could have 6 candles around you, making it a circular symbol. So let's say 3 from the front and 3 from the back. Make sure that it's created in a circular space, and you can just sit in the middle of those candles with the intention of the fire will be cleaning and burning and transmuting away your aura. So you can sit and meditate in that surrounding fire for about 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously, when you're done, the fire is not going to go off by itself. You can put it off and use the same candles again the next day. Just like crystals, with the candles, they need to have a purpose. If you are buying those candles to, let's say, bring in a beautiful smell for your house, the scented candles, and you want to use it to cleanse your energy field, you're mixing the purpose up. So my personal favorite, actually, I like these ones. So when you have a rock candle holder, my personal favorite are the tea light candles. So the tea light candles are very easy, very practical. If you have the crystal candle holder, even better. This is an amethyst. You can also use it. It's not necessarily for cleaning your aura, but it's still high vibrational. But in order not to get you very confused, you can have the tea light candles, like I said, and you can surround yourself in it. And you will let the flame clear you. Of course, when you have the opportunity to be around a bigger fire, a bonfire, sitting next to fire will do its work by itself. It has the ability, fire has the ability, the flames of the fire, the energy around it has the ability to come inside. This is the clairvoyant vision of it, to come inside and to cleanse the chakras, to take away all the dirt, to pull it out and to release it. So obviously these are very tiny ones, but still doing it on a daily basis is great. Another way that you can use the fire is if you could, it's not going to be that effective because it depends on how powerful your imagination is and how much you are strong in your will and in your concentration, which is where you can sit and gaze at the fire. This is a very ancient meditative technique as well. It usually helps with the third eye as well. Its purpose is not really to cleanse you, but by you being able to gaze at it and then close your eyes and visualize that flame with the intention that that flame and the energy of that fire is cleaning you, that can also help, all right? Then don't try it, okay? If you have any eyesight issues and this is going to cause difficulties, you don't have to gaze at it. So you don't have to complicate your life. Always go to simpler versions of things. Have the candles just around you and to use the energy of the fire to clean. Now, the last technique to help you clean your aura is using sound. The best sound quality, if you want to use it through let's say digital devices like the YouTube or social media devices, you will be able to listen to 528 Hertz. That's the best option that you can use to help clear the energy field around you and clear your aura. Now, the thing with sound is if you don't have it as headsets, and you're not really attuned with it, then it can be a great background clearing music. But obviously, and I'm sure many of you know, and many of you might be addicted as well, is using sound healing, which is the singing bowls, or using tuning forks. What they do is they change the frequency and they change the vibration in your auric field and they level it up. And when they level it up, it starts to become pure and cleaner. And I'm sure that many of you experience sound healing sessions where you're like in a different trance-like state afterwards. Good question. Do you have to do all the elements to cleanse your aura? Of course not. You don't have to do all. There's nothing as have to doing all the elements, but it's good to know all the elements, and you will see that at some days you'll be drawn to certain elements to try, and other days to be drawn to other elements. Some are more practical, some need more concentration, some need more practicality or preparation. If you do have a singing bowl, then me not necessarily being a sound healing expert, but what you can do is you can lie down. This is one option, and you can put the singing bowl on your solar plexus, your stomach area, and you hit the ball a few times. This is not necessarily a certain practice, but what it does is the core of your body, the solar plexus and where the sacral chakra is around your belly button. That is some of the most stagnant places that I've seen in clients where they hold energy there. Because the solar plexus is one of those places where we create cords with other people. And when we create those cords, we have other people's energies absorbed. We're absorbing their stuff. And that is why when I said earlier, we tend to then lose track of what is mine and what is somebody else's. So it's about us trying to clear as much as we can with the energy field around the solar plexus and the sacral. So we have the singing bowl by lying down and we just hit it a few times. And we let the vibration to move. So you can try that experience and see how that feels. If you're more of a sound person, you might be more inclined to try and sound healing in that process. Obviously, you're not going to go to a sound healing session every single day. We want to look at things that how you can apply it on a daily basis. So if you are attracted to sound, go ahead and get yourself a singing bowl. Just like crystals, it's preferable that you choose something that you are connected to, rather than just it being beautiful. We put it on the stomach. We put the singing bowl on the stomach, and you just hit at the tip of it so it can make the sound. Yeah? All right. Any questions so far? Any other questions before we move into the energy visualization healing part of the aura? And that's where you're going to experience a meditative session to clean your energy field. All right. So the following aura cleaning meditation that I'm doing, I just need your visualization. We're going to be using golden light. So you can visualize golden light. And this is going to kind of be helping with all the layers of your energy body. So if there's anything that is stuck or stagnant in your aura, it's going to help clear that out. And this video will be on Facebook, it will be on YouTube, so you can re-listen to it over and over again on a daily basis. All right? So I want you to uncross your legs and to make sure that your legs are straight, not sitting in a yogic position. Feet are either straight or your, or if you can lie, if you want to lie down, you can also lie down. Okay. And like I said, I want you to be aware and attentive of the certain points that I'm going to guide you to. All right? Let's go. Close your eyes. And take 3 deep breaths. Now I want you to focus on the top of your head. And we're going to activate your crown point with pure golden light. And now focus on the second point above your forehead, the edge of your hairline. Activating that point with golden light. Keep your focus there. Now focusing on the third point, which is at your chin. Now focusing on the fourth point, which is between your collarbones. The hollow area between your collarbones. Activating the fifth point, which is on your heart. Activating the sixth point, which is the tip of the stomach. Activating now the seventh point, which is slightly above your belly button. Just need to have the intention, you don't need to know the exact place, so don't worry. We're now activating the ninth point, which is below your left knee. Then activating below your right knee. Activating now your right palm, the center of your right palm, your hand. Activating now the left palm. And the final point we're going to activate is in the center of your chest. We're now creating a golden ball of light to cover you up. You're in the center of this golden ball. It's growing bigger, covering all layers of your energy. Keeping you fully protected and grounded. Take 3 deep breaths and open your eyes. How is everyone feeling? You can write in the chat box, send me a thumbs up. As you can see, in my case, I yawn a lot when I'm doing a lot of energy work and when I know that something is being activated. Yeah, so I already saw someone saying too much yawning. This means that, yeah, perfect, guys. The yawning is a sign of your connection with the energy. So you're opening up, you are sensitive enough, and you're tuning in. And if you are falling asleep from it and you're relaxing, then you're also opening to it up. Ideally, it's for you to be fully awake the whole time. If you fell asleep, then if you're lying down, make sure that you sit up more. It's important to be more conscious in the practice. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work if you are asleep. It's just that you're not fully aware of how things are working, basically. So you can listen to this on a daily basis. It has no harm in any way. It's actually, as you can see, these are certain points. They're not necessarily chakras. It's a certain technique that I use in practice. And with that golden light, it helps you to keep you healthy and protected. It is on Facebook, yeah. Once we're done, it'll be on my page and on Illuminations page. And hopefully soon, in a few days, it'll be on YouTube as well. And you can listen to it every day and you can share it with others. We all need to make sure that our auras are cleansed. It will help us a lot in our thoughts and in our emotions and in our reactions, okay? Yes, and you do feel the tinglings in your hands and your feet. Eyes are watering, of course, mine as well. You know, I've been yawning the whole time. I don't know if you heard me yawn the whole time. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. What does it mean? Which part? You're feeling the energy. That's what it means. Yeah, when you're having tingling energies, you're feeling them. They're opening them up. All right, guys, any other questions? You're welcome, Debbie. All right, it was a pleasure having you all. Thank you so much for joining. We've had a really good turnout of people. So if you do want to join my space clearing course, it's happening on the 21st of May. We have 2 spots left for 25% off. And you can attend online or on site. So I hope I can see you guys there. You can get all the information from the Illuminations page. Also, my Instagram page is I am Maria Leonard, so you can see the information there as well. Also, the Facebook is Maria Leonard. All right, thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening or a beautiful morning wherever you are. Bye.